Hey guys, this is for CC Week 7, Introduction to the Tin Whistle. Now, go ahead and start on your Foundations guide on page 87. You can read a little bit about this and what CC is expecting and wanting to get from this. And then we can move right on from there. So for each cycle, you will have a cycle song that you focus on for those 6 weeks. For cycle 1, it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and that is on page 89. And then for cycle 2, it's Mary Had a Little Lamb, and that's on page 181. And then for cycle 3, it's Yankee Doodle, and that is on page 253. So for that cycle, just focus on that song. That'll be your cycle song. So I would say in the beginning of Tin Whistle, first of all, it's really exciting to introduce children to music. Do not go into this thinking that you have to have musicians by the time that you're done with this. Some kids will be really good at music, and some, they just don't get it as quickly, and that's fine. We really just want to introduce them to this and just maybe spark a learning for it. So just have fun with it, no stress. And I would say be very, very clear of your expectations from the very beginning. Have an instruction for the children with their tin whistle. Either they have to hold it with 2 hands in their lap, or it has to be on the table and they are not allowed to touch it until you tell them. Whatever it is that you want it to be, set those expectations clearly from the beginning and just say, we will get to play this later, but for now, this is what you will do with it. So I find that, putting it on the table and not touching it works really well. Or if they have 2 hands on it and it has to be in their lap. Whatever works best for your class. You know them very well. So let's go ahead and start on page 90. This is going to go, it's just going to take you step by step through the lesson. And what they want you to do is sing the cycle song. And then we're going to ask some questions to get their minds kind of going. And so you can have them start at the same time. Maybe you're doing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. They can start at the same time and help them end at the same time. Ask them some questions. What did we have to do in order to make that sound well to stay together, so that they can start making those connections later for harmony and cacophony? And maybe even let them sing it at any pace that they want. Maybe this half of the room can start first and this half of the room can start later. They can start when they want and they can end with when they want. And see what they thought about that. How did they feel about, when we all did it together versus going at different times? So that's what they want you to do with naming. And it says when you sing with the children, direct them through a tin whistle song. Be sure to get them to follow your direction by counting them in a steady beat. 1, 2, ready, sing, or 1, 2, ready, play. So get that. What they want you to do is get that in your head. Get that prepared now for what you want to do. Either say 1, 2, ready, sing, or you could say 1, 2, ready, play. That's going to get them to start off together. Next, we're going to go through the expressing portion, so they can get their tin whistles. And in your handout, in your book on page 88, you can create some handouts by just making some copies of these. CC wants you to, make some copies of this, make some copies of the cycle song if you wish, and have that on the table with your students. So I have some copies of this that I want to show my students, so we can look at the labeling of it. And so we're just going to go through each piece. So you have your barrel. So that's this cylinder right here. The fipple, which is this cut right here in the plastic. And then this whole piece is the mouthpiece. And then you have your 6 finger holes. Okay. And then they want to talk about proper hand position. So your left hand goes on top. You use the first 3 fingers, 1, 2, 3. Now, a common thing I see with the kids is trying to put the fingertip into the hole like this, the very, very fingertip. It makes it a little harder to play. It's a little uncomfortable, and you're not really covering the hole very well. So what I tell mine to do is lay the pad of your finger across the hole. That's the proper way to do it, just like that. And that way it's a more comfortable position for your hand, and it's really covering those holes well, which is going to make the correct note. So your left hand is on top, your right hand is on the bottom, and then you want to tell them each and every time that you get them to put the tin whistle in their hand. I tell my class every single time, sit up straight, left hand on top, right hand on the bottom, and you want it at a 45-degree angle. So show them we're not playing it like this. We're not playing it like this. We're sitting up straight at a 45-degree angle. We want that airflow going nice and smooth there for the ones that are able to play it. So go through the parts of the tin whistle, let them touch it, let them see it and feel it. And then one suggestion they made was putting the paper holes around here if the little ones are having trouble. I do not do that for my class. I want them to get used to and work towards getting these finger holes covered, even for their little fingers. They can lay the pad across there. But one thing I will say not to do is please do not color code the tin whistle finger holes. It's just a crutch, and they're learning something that has nothing to do with this at all. Now they're just matching colors instead of focusing on what the lesson is really about. So please, please, please do not color code and I've seen where people put different color holes on here and then they just match that up with the notes in the book. Please do not do that. We want them learning the notes. We want them, learning all of that on their own and not relying on the colors. So, and then turn the page to 91. And they want you to practice following the conductor. So you can start off with maybe going back to the song, like singing it to get them to learn to follow you and follow your rhythm. And then talk about cacophony. So allow the students to play whatever they like. They love this part. So just let them just say, now is the time. We're going to put the tin whistle in our mouth now, and now we're going to blow, and you play what you want to play. And so the point of this is that it sounds really terrible. It's just going to sound bad. It's not going to sound good at all. So then when we're done with that, let them do that. I kind of let them do it twice. They think it's fun. They like it. Then we're going to play in unison. So first, model for the students how to play in unison. Instruct students to cover all the finger holes, count them in, and play 4 times. As they play, count 1, 2, 3, 4 in a steady beat, okay? And then raise your fist to indicate that they should return the tin whistles to their lap. Repeat. Listen to each student individually play 4 times, 4 beats. Play again in unison. Repeat the process above by having the students take off 1 finger at a time. So essentially you're following the scale that is also in your book. I'll show you real quick here what page that is on. That is on page 100 and 101. So they want you to cover all the finger holes first and then take off 1 so that you play an E. Take off another so that you play an F. Take off another so you play a G. And just really kind of feel out your own class here. If you're having a hard enough time just to get them all to cover all the finger holes and to play a D, then just work with that. We want this to be a really good and fun experience for them. So the point of this is to demonstrate playing in unison, having that harmony. We're all going to play at the same time, the same note, all together, and then let each student practice individually and then go back to doing it as a class. If you can get through the whole scale, well, then that's great. And we'll talk more about the scale and notes in different lessons. You don't need to go over that now. Right now, just this week 7, we just really want to introduce the tin whistle, get that proper, the proper seating and the proper finger arrangements going, and just really introduce them to cacophony and harmony. So that is like the whole point. And then we want to review by naming parts of the tin whistle. So what I'm going to do is they will get blank copy paper when we are done. And I'm just going to, since I have the 4-year-old class, they're just going to draw the tin whistle. Now, when I had my master's class last year, they would draw the tin whistle, and then we went through as a class and labeled all of the parts. If you feel your class is able to label it, go ahead and do that. If they're very, very little, just let them draw it. This is just a fun week of introduction, getting to feel this instrument, try it out, and learn about cacophony and harmony. And that's really it, guys. If you have any questions, just let me know. And I hope you have fun. Enjoy your first week of tin whistle.